morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome along this Monday webinar. Great to see you here, guys. Just give me a second. I'll quickly share my screen with you so you can see what I can see. All right, so I hope you like this picture. We come across this picture in Kampala in Uganda as we were walking along the road. And when I saw this, I said, I need to have a picture with that. Humble start and great end. Yeah. So, but today it's not about humble start or great end. Today I wanted to give you some ideas and tips from the FM Bootcamp. And this is really something to think about and something to take into account before you really get serious about this business. Because at the end of the day, you do need to get serious about this business if you want to be successful in it. So I just wanted to give you a few quick tips this Monday morning. If you're listening in live, you can actually post questions in the chat box. So on your right hand side, you should see a chat box where you could say hello and you can ask any questions, etc. So if I see any questions by the end of these tips, I'll then be more than happy to answer those. If not, if you're listening to a recorded version of this, then I hope you enjoyed. I hope you get some value from it. All right, guys. So I've got a few live attendees today at the webinar over here. Hi, guys. How are you? Terrific. This is unusual for me to have some live attendees. Usually I'm just speaking to the void, to the world, you know, in my office. But now I'm here in Nairobi. The weather is warm. The people are beautiful. The sun is shining and we're building. So the first thing I wanted to talk today is about 3 stages of network marketing career. And guess what? This business is a career. So you should treat it as a profession. You know, this is why we keep going on about GoPro, about you treating this as a profession, about being professional about this. Because guess what? In order for you to earn a part-time extra income, then you don't really need to treat this as a profession. But if you want to be earning the high levels of income, where we're talking about $50,000 a year or pounds a year or 100,000 pounds a year or dollars a year, guess what? You're going to have to start treating it a bit more seriously than just a hobby. So it is a profession and it is a career which you can develop and progress and get better at, etc. So the 3 stages of the network marketing career are as follows. The first stage is where you go from invisible to an average. So guess what? All of us, when we first start in this business, we are pretty much invisible. I mean, nobody knows about us. We haven't sold anything. We haven't recruited anybody into the business. We haven't got any team members. We haven't got much knowledge about the products. We haven't got much knowledge about the business or anything like that. I mean, we are really invisible in business. So number one, when you get started in this business, is for you to get noticed, is for you to get mentioned, you know, and there's many ways how to do that, you know, from learning the presentation and starting to do presentations to, to introducing yourself. You know, when I first started, the first conference I remember I went to, I shook a hand of every leader. I got their numbers, I've got their Facebooks, I've got their Skypes, I did a selfie with them and all of that, because I wanted to, number one, I wanted them to know me, but more than that, I wanted to know them. You know, so if I have challenge with recruiting, then I can go to the best recruiter in our company. If I have a challenge with sales, I can go to the best seller in the company, right? So that helps me a lot. But the best way and the easiest way, if you like, to get to average or get to being noticed and mentioned in this business is to start recruiting, is to start building a team, right? So because if you start doing that, you will get noticed very fast, because people will go, "Ooh, who is this person?" You know, one of the examples I keep giving now is a guy called Thomas in my team who started last month. And in his first month, he did 3,300 personal points. His team done 6,800 points, and he recruited 11 people in his first month. Guess what? Do you think that gets person noticed in our business? I bet he does, you know. So obviously, you know, I saw the potential in him, but a lot of people, you know, now in the leadership of the team start going, who is this guy? You know, so it's very quick to be noticed when you start building your business. Okay, the second stage then is going from average to a leader. Okay, so once you get to, to being noticed, you're an average distributor, you're out there, in the trenches with all the other thousands of distributors, then you want to become a leader. And again, there's many ways of moving towards being a leader, as for example, learning more about the business, learning more about the product, because guess what, the more knowledgeable you are, the stronger you are in this business, the more confident you are, and the more of this confidence you will project at other people. But the quickest and probably the best way to go from average to a leader is duplication. And what do I mean by duplication? Well, duplication is when your team members start doing the same things that you are doing. Because one of the things that we notice very often in business, you have somebody who joins the business, they're really, really excited about the business and they start recruiting people, but nobody in their team are doing what they are doing, which means that there is no duplication then in this business, and the business then will grow very slowly if there's no duplication. So one thing you want to achieve is to have systems and structures in your business that are being passed down to your team, that are being passed down to your people, right? So that your new starters are copying the same things and doing the same things that you are doing, and they teaching their new team members to do the same thing, and they teaching their new team members to do the same, because that's when the duplication happens, and that's when your business gets into a momentum, when you are not the only person who actually building is actually a lot of people within your team are doing the same thing. They're also building the team, they're also doing the sales, etc. So that's the second stage, going from average to a leader. And then the third stage of your network marketing career is going from a leader to a legend. Now, what do I mean to a legend? Well, a legend is maybe a strong word, but basically somebody who pretty much the whole company knows about them. A lot of people knows about them. They become one of the top leaders within the company. They earn the biggest money. They have the biggest teams and things like that. So how can you go from a leader to a legend? Well, again, there's a lot of ways to do that, and there's a lot of things that you can do, some of which are basically building a large team, which is probably the biggest thing, because you will become the top of the company by actually building the largest team in the business. But the fastest way probably to go to a legend is through promotion. So what we mean by that is through creating campaigns in your business, through creating a mission, so not just being in the business that, yeah, I want to make some extra money, yeah, I want to, one day to be wealthy or whatever, but it's really to say, okay, you know what, I'm going to go on a mission here. I have a vision where my team is 10,000 people. I have a vision where we can help this charity or this good cause, or do things that are beyond just making some extra money, because money is not exciting. I mean, it's exciting to begin with, but after some time, it's just digits in the bank account. It's just paper. It does nothing. Money in itself, it does nothing. But what is behind that? So what will you do with that money? One of my favorite sayings is that you can't help the poor if you're one of them. It's very difficult to help the poor if you're one of them. So what will you do when you get there? What will this money do? What will that help you to contribute to? What causes will you work on, etc.? So have a mission, have a vision. Where do you want to go? Because when you have this mission, guess what? People around you, especially in your team, they will join that mission. They'll go, you know what? This lady or this guy, it's very clear that they know where they're going. I want to join them, because if I just be with them, I'm sure I will get there too. So it's all very, very important. But all of that, whichever stage you are on right now, or maybe you're not even started yet, properly, but it all starts with a decision. And to really go to the top, to the number 3, to the legend, guess what? You have to make a decision to be in the business no matter what, and to build this business no matter what. This morning I did a quick video about the levels of commitment. First being, when people go, I will try it. Well, I'll try it means I will quit, I just don't know when, right? That's what it means, because the person is not very serious if they're saying, I'm going to try it. Have you heard of a brain surgeon in your area who said, I'll try to be a brain surgeon? Not really. Nobody tries to be a brain surgeon. They go for 9 years to university to become a brain surgeon. So that's pretty much making a decision and sticking to it, right? So exactly the same in this business. You have people who want to make $100,000 a year, and they go, I'm going to try this business. You don't try this business. You either do it or you don't. So it starts with the decision. So the 3 levels of commitment. First is when people say, I'll try it. The second level of commitment, when somebody says, you know what, I will do my best, which is better than I'll try it, because these people will commit. Unfortunately, most people, they believe that their best is a lot less than what they could actually do. Most people have such a big potential, but they sort of always downplay it, they lowball it. But the best level of commitment, when somebody says, you know what, I will do whatever it takes, which means even the things that right now I don't think I could do, right? So that's when it starts with a decision, that I will be here in this business, or I'll be building my business no matter what. No matter what happens, whether you fall out with your sponsor, or your distributors leave the business, or, products change, or prices increase or they decrease, or whatever. Doesn't matter what happens, you have to stick through this, right? I mean, you have to make a decision that no matter what happens, I will carry on building my business. No matter what happens, I will carry on building my business. This is really, really important, because if you haven't got that backbone in you, then guess what? You're going to quit next week. The first bad thing happens to you, the newspaper comes in wrinkled, and you'll go, you know what, I'll quit, this is too hard, etc. Right? So it's really, really important to make that decision. And also, not everybody will get to a leader or to a legend. The reason for that is because there's three types of people in this world. The first type of people is a person called pessimist. And pessimists, they expect things to go wrong, and they expect things to go down. And guess what? When it does go down and when it does go wrong, they are so proud of themselves, because they have predicted that it's going to go bad, right? So these are the people that look for bad things in life, and guess what? There's a lot of them out there, and these people cannot become a leader or a legend in this business, because they're too pessimistic. They're going to put people off doing anything, just by their attitude. The second group of people is what we call realists. And these are the reasonable people. They are not pessimistic, but the problem with them is that they don't want to be disappointed. They don't want to be embarrassed. So they will always set small goals that are easy to achieve, that will not push them out of their comfort zone, that will not push them, to do something that they are uncomfortable with, etc. Which means that they will never achieve the real success in business, because they will always be trying to play it safe. They don't want to lose face. They don't want to get embarrassed, by being rejected by people, or being laughed by people, etc. And guess what? In this business, if you really go big, if you really speak to every single person that you meet about this business and about this products, guess what? A lot of people will ridicule you. A lot of people will reject you. A lot of people will say no to you, and that's something you just have to accept. If you can't accept that, then guess what? You're not going to move ahead. And then the third group of people is what we call visionaries. These are the outrageous people. These are unbelievable, unreasonable goal-setting people. These are the people with vision. And guess what? These people never hit their goals, because their goals are so huge. But by setting these huge goals, they still hit something that is much higher than anybody else can hit. Because they will always go over the top. They will always, say things that are just, everybody else just raises their eyebrows, right? But these are the people who will go to the very top. These are the people who will succeed in business no matter what, right? But reality is that you need to be a visionary to become a legend in this business. But guess what? Only 2% of the population are the visionaries. Only 2%. The other 98% are the pessimists and the realists. So that's why, especially when bringing new business partners into the business, you must take that into account. Because most people, they speak to 10 people and they want 10 people to join the business and to become leaders. And that is not possible. It is not possible. According to these statistics, then, out of 100 people that you speak to, only 2 people have the potential to become the legends in your business, the visionaries, the people who really have the ambition like you do. Right? So you have to take these numbers into account then and go, okay, so then if I know the numbers, then I can play around them. Then I know how many people I need to invite to get the leaders in my business. Because most people, guess what? They speak to 5 people. If out of those 5 people, they haven't found, the super big leader, they quit the business. They go, this business doesn't work. And I go, what? You spoke to 5 people and you decided that this business doesn't work. It doesn't work like that. It's a game of numbers, right? So you have to have the numbers in your business, okay? The other thing I wanted to share with you today is that success loves speed. Success loves speed. No matter what you do, you want to get the business into momentum. You want to have the speed in this business, because doing it slowly is just so boring. It's just so painful. It's just so discouraging, right? When would you like to make good money in your life? Within the next 6 months, or within the next 60 years? What does sound more exciting? Retiring, within the next 6 months, or retiring within the next 60 years, and dying 6 months after you retired? You just need to know that, and in business, speed helps a lot. It's more efficient. It's easier sometimes. When you do it fast, it becomes easy. It's like, one of the things, I always give example is, that speed creates this velocity. It builds momentum. It's like pushing the car. When you're trying to push the car out of standstill, it's a really hard job. You really need to put your back into it to really push it out of the standstill. But once the car starts moving, and it starts moving, and it starts moving, you almost can push it with one finger. I mean, it becomes so easy. The car is just riding by itself, doesn't it? But let the car stop to a standstill, and again, it'll be really, really hard to get it moving from the standstill. So if you get your business into this momentum, into this speed, where you're recruiting loads of people, when you're selling loads of products, when you're doing a lot of trainings, a lot of meetings, etc., what this does, it gets your business into a momentum, where now it starts getting into this momentum where it becomes easier and easier and easier to keep building it. But if you're just introducing one person every 6 months, oh my gosh, it's like pushing that car, letting it stop, then starting to push it again, letting it stop again, then started. Oh my gosh, you're gonna get tired with this thing, So also speed is effective, because speed creates results. If you speak to a lot of people, what it does, it makes you better presenter. For example, if you present business to a lot of people, it makes you a better presenter, because by the time you're speaking to person number 10, number 11, number 12, your presentation is like watertight. It gets to a point where you don't even need to think about what you're saying. You just really have this rhythm, you have this momentum, where you're just taking the person's mind through the sequence of events, where by the end of the presentation, they can make a decision, and most of them will make a decision that you want them to make. But guess what? If you do a presentation once every 6 months, you get so rusty. I mean, you forget what you need to say. You don't have that passion in it. You don't have that emotion in it, etc. So it again makes it harder. Also, speed is attractive, because intensity attracts others. So it's like that light bulb when it shines and the bugs are flying towards it, right? So when you get into business and you start doing it fast, it creates this intensity that attracts other people. They're going, I don't know what she's doing or what he's doing, but it is happening. I need to get on board with this thing. I need to get on this train of opportunity, because they seem to be like they're going somewhere, It also builds confidence, and it reduces fear. I always go, we have this example of a frog, and we say, if you woke up in the morning and you had to eat a frog, what's the best time to eat that frog, guys? If you needed to eat a frog, you woke up this morning, you needed to eat a frog, when do you think would be the best time to do that? And you have no way out of it. When would be the best time to do it? Immediately, exactly, straight away. Because guess what? If you look at that frog, it ain't gonna get easier. It's gonna get harder, because the more you think about it, the more disgusting this thing gonna become, right? It's the same way when building business. Yes, you will be afraid sometimes to talk to people. You will be afraid to get out of the comfort zone. But if you do loads of it, and if you do it fast, it just almost reduces that fear. It's like jumping out of an airplane. You don't want to do it slow with a parachute. You want to just jump, and just face your fears. So it's really, really important to have the speed in your business, okay? To have the speed in your recruiting process, to have the speed into the whole thing, right? So this is it for today, guys. I hope you found value in this. I hope you got some good stuff that you can go ahead and use it, because remember, don't let the information lead to education. Let the information lead to action. So put the stuff in action. Whatever you've learned today, put it in action. What can you do about the speed of your building business? What can you do about going through different stages of your network marketing career? And what type of person are you? And what type of person are you recruiting into the business? Okay, guys, have a fantastic day. Have a very productive week. And I will see you guys very, very soon, very, very shortly. Okay, bye for now.